member or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. 877-247-1581. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are so excited to be back for this special Good Friday. Joco Community Radio is a member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective, proudly serving communities like Johnson and Tarrant County, Texas. We're live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Check out our lineup and more at tuneinjoco.com. We thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of our communities. You heard the commercials. Please be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorneys at law. Use code JOCO2024 for 25% off your first order at thetiffy.com. And join the Swipe Nation today and save on your credit card processing at swipenationusa.com. Locally owned and operated. Reach out to Tiffany at JOCO Community Radio for advertising rates as low as $50 a month. We are very much proud and grateful to be part of JOCO Community Radio. And before we get this exciting jam-packed show started today, let's bow our head for a quick word of prayer. Father God, we're just so grateful to be here on this Good Friday. We just thank you, Jesus, for all that you have done, the love you have for us, and the good plans you have for us. Father God, I just pray you would be with the job seeker community and open up amazing doors of opportunity, lead them, guide them, and allow them to have a real experience with you during this time. In Jesus' holy name we pray, amen. Well, Foster, I see we have a phenomenal show today, and we have our returning veteran, Miss Andi Cook, who was a co-host for quite some time and honestly is amazing. In addition, we have our wonderful project manager, Mez, in the background doing everything that makes this show run. And we thank you, Tiffany, for all you do to make this show run. So, Foster, I know we've probably got some landings, a few quick announcements around job openings, but do you have a goofy dad joke for today?
You know, I am excited today. I've got my buddy Ken on here with us.
Yeah.
Ken is going to be the first person that you guys are going to hear from today. He is a national executive coach. He's been, Ken's been around training and development a long time, most of your career probably, Ken. And Ken, he speaks to groups, and our job is to bring people to tell good things to job seekers, help you guys know what you got to do to get a job the right way, the right job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So let's us start out. I see Tiffany Paisley is with it. Hey, Tiffany, we missed you last week. And Dustin and HR Heidi. And man, we just got a jam-packed listener crew today. That's cool. All right. So, hey, guys, I'm going to start you guys out. I'm going to try to make y'all laugh with a lame dad joke, okay? So each part of the show, that's what Dana and I do. All right. So does anybody know, since given and it's Good Friday today, does anybody know what the Easter Bunny does before he has his Easter meal? What does he do? What does he say? All right, I'm going to kick it in. Let us pray. All right, I know that's lame, but I can hear all of you guys laughing out there. And that's good. That's what Mez says. Wow, Foster.
I agree with Mez.
Gina Patton's with us. I saw her as well. Hey, Gina. Good morning. Good morning. Good Friday, y'all. Everybody, it's a good Friday. I tell you guys to make it a good Friday, but it's already a good Friday. Dan Moore, all right. Deborah Kurtz, yeah, we have got a crew this morning. That's good. All right, so now that I have said my lameness, let's talk with Ken a little bit. What, guys, Ken and I and Andi and Dana and Mez, we all do the same. Well, I won't say we do the same thing. We do it in different ways, but we're here to help you guys understand what it is and what you need to do and who you need to connect with to get that right opportunity. Because most of us that are listeners are job seekers. We're looking for the next job. So, guys, Ken we all notice things all across the country. Ken is in Philadelphia. And Cindy Copeland, I hope you're listening, because I told you that Ken was going to be with us this morning.
Hey, Ken.
Ken, that's another Philadelphia native we got down here in Texas. So Ken and I and Andi and I especially, and Dana, all of us, we notice things in job search, and some of those things are I guess we can call them myths, things that are going on. So yes. Ken's with us to debunk some of that.
Gotta love our debunking.
I know, we got to debunk today. So let's debunk. Ken, let's start debunking, brother.
All right, I'm ready to debunk. I got my debunking shoes on. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, by the way, and thanks
Glad
for
you're
having me
with
on.
us.
I don't know if my background, it looks to me like it's backwards. Looks, if it
Yep.
is to you, let's
There's a
pretend we're appealing to our Russian viewers.
Exactly.
you
Don't
just
So
even
have
worry
to
about
hit
it.
the mirror. Hit the mirror on your camera
I
settings.
thought it might. I wasn't sure. Okay,
You're okay.
I'm not the most technologically inclined person.
Yeah, we had a
Anyway,
good
That's
talk about that. Me
okay.
either. Dana has to help me with mine.
Dear goodness, it's a weekly thing. No, I'm kidding, Foster. We love you.
It is. She's not lying. Her and Maz keep me going.
Oh, it's really Mez, to be honest, because
No,
she's
well,
the
Maz,
expert.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, we're taking up your time,
okay.
but let's debunk.
All right. I would say starting with I want to talk about resumes
Okay.
quickly. I think
Oh,
one of the
good.
myths that you all, that Foster and Dana, you probably hear is that they have to be one page
Oh,
long.
what the most annoying myth ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's hard when you have 15, 20,
Yep.
25 years of experience to get that down to one page. Now, that's
Yes.
not to say that it should be 3, 4, 5 pages long, because the idea of the resume really is to attract attention
That's right.
and then to get the call for an interview. Um,
Exactly.
I don't know about you guys, but I've never heard of somebody who got a call saying, "Oh my gosh, I just saw your resume. I want to offer you a job right now for $100,000 a year," without even talking to you.
Oh
So
Yeah.
man,
I
And I
think that's
might,
why people
that's
jam
Demar's
so much
kind of
in.
stuff. They might call him and ask
yeah.
him.
And I was going to say, really, the only time a resume should be one page is for a new grad out of college because they're not going to have as intensive of a work history. Outside of new grads, most of us that have experience, 2 to 3 pages is pretty standard.
Yep, exactly. And 3 is definitely on the long end for sure. And I would say that thinking about a resume, it's not about jamming everything you've ever done in there. You want to have it so it's readable, it's skimmable by
Yes.
somebody. So you need it to be clear. And I think there's a little paradox too, because on one hand, obviously you want to stand out from the crowd with your resume,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, you want to have a somewhat standard format, I think, so that the recruiter can read it easily and not have to figure out, wait a second, where's the dates? What is this? What is that? So
Yeah,
if you have a real pretty resume, bring it with you on the interview. But if you're submitting it, make it easy for the recruiter.
As
absolutely.
said, debunk the funk.
um, if I could give another one, resume related myth, I
Yeah,
think is
yeah.
that you need to rewrite your resume for every job you apply to. You've got to customize it. Um,
Ah,
I would say I agree with that to a degree. If you have to rewrite your whole resume for every job you apply for, you probably won't be
oh
going
God,
for
you'll be
too
there all
many
day.
jobs. Um, but what I suggest is, and what I do with my clients is the fold test. Meaning, if you were to fold the first page of your
Uh huh.
resume in half or look at it on a computer screen, would it tell enough of a story to have you called in or have the reader at least say, I want to keep reading? So that is the part that I will typically customize or suggest people customize. It's your summary. Make your summary directly related to the job you're going for.
Yes.
I like to put in highlighted accomplishments up there and then any skills and competencies. So that's the part I would customize. You have a 2 or 3 page resume. I just can't see rewriting it every time you apply.
That's right. That'd take a whole lot of time, wouldn't it? Geez, it'd take
Yeah,
all your time actually.
it would. It's hard enough writing it the first time, isn't it?
It is. It is, and those resumes are important, guys, because when we I talk to so many job seekers, and we talk about jobs, and sometimes I will get some people that will send me 15 jobs and say, "Hey, Foster, I've applied for these jobs in all these companies, and I see you know somebody in there." And I know from experience, guys, if I get 15 jobs like that, there's only about one. There may be 2 of those jobs that you're actually a fit for. Now, when I say actually a fit, let's be fair. Uh, Andy is a recruiter, and Andy is gonna want to share that resume probably that you sent for maybe only a couple of those jobs, because guys, it's not about us. I know that we need to get a job, but it's about, we see postings from companies because they have things going on that they need to hire for, and that job search, it feels, when we're at home and we're with the wife, we're with the husband, of course it's about us, but
Yeah.
when you get out there, it's not. So thank you, Ken. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not about us, right? It's about what we could do for them. That's what
that's
they
right.
want to. Um, one of the other thing, and the reason why I think this next myth is related to the I have to rewrite my resume for every job I apply to, because we all know looking for a job is hard work. There's probably a lot more negativity than there is positivity, and so I
Hmm.
just believe every time you hear a myth that you say, oh my gosh, I'm not rewriting my resume every time, or this next one is looking for a job is a full-time job. And I don't like that, because if the person is not spending 40 or 50 hours a week, they think they're failing. They think they're
Yeah.
not doing what they
Hmm.
need to do. And to me, it's really quality, not quantity of time. I could
That's a good
never put in
point.
40 or 50 hours a week looking for a job.
Yeah.
You need to put in time. There's no doubt about it. But you've got to, I usually suggest find your comfort zone. How much can you sit down and get done? And then push a little past that. And then walk away and maybe you come back. But don't set unrealistic goals for yourself. It's just self defeating. How about that one, Foster?
Yeah, I like that one. That's true. I see job searches the same. And when I talk to Ken, when I talk to folks even on the West Coast, all over the country, we see the same thing in job search. We see the people doing the same thing in job search. Damar is an HR leader, and he probably resonates with a lot of this stuff that we're saying. And you know what, uh, guys, I guess our fight is the same in each state.
Yeah,
I want to throw one in there, Ken.
please do.
I see people. What do you feel about people that get their resumes, and they hear job search people tell them, "Oh, get your resumes everywhere you can get it."
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, because they're getting these resumes and they're not going to be a fit for what they're applying for.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I that was actually one of my myths. Were you reading
I
my notes,
figured it probably
Foster?
would be. It probably would be.
The
Way to
old.
go, Foster. Just kidding.
Now, what am I going to talk about?
Now, what are we going
Uh,
to do?
No, but actually, I agree. I think that's another issue. People think it's the spray and pray method,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
That's what we use here.
yes.
Yeah. Uh
Yeah,
huh.
I'm going to apply to as many jobs as I can, and one of them's got to hit. Well, there's a lot wrong with that approach.
A
One
whole
is,
lot.
as we talked about, you're not customizing, and like I say, limited in a limited way. You're not customizing your resume. You're not talking to the person who's hiring, because that's who you have to really speak to in your messaging. And think about this. For any job, you could be one of 100, 200, 500 applicants these days. Think about this big pile of resumes on the desk of somebody, all just names, all just pieces of paper, everybody trying to look their best.
Hmm.
So you've got a limited shot even for that one potential job. But if you can find someone at that company who is willing and able to connect you, that person could walk in with your resume, put it right on top of that pile. Because if I'm a hiring manager and someone who was a colleague, who I respect, who has a reputation that they need to uphold,
Hmm.
gives me a resume, I'm checking that person out as opposed to all these random anonymous people who have applied online.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
That's a very good point.
Hmm.
Another reason that we get out there and we network, and guys, Dana and I, and Andy's this way too, because Andy's a whole lot smarter than I am, and we're both recruiters. And you know what, guys, it's always better if we can get out in person. I know we've got Zoom and the technology, but when you sit down, guys, and you have a meal with somebody, it doesn't have to be barbecued tomorrow. And, you know, when you sit down, when you sit across from the table or next to somebody at a meal, that is connecting. A little bit more than our Hollywood Square screens here on
Yeah.
Zoom, and you
I
know,
like Hollywood Squares.
I love you guys. I know everybody on here is probably not old enough to remember Hollywood Squares, but you know what? When we're in person, it just goes a little bit further, guys. I'm always going to be a proponent of that personal interaction in job search or in anything in life. I'm going to be that person that talks about that number one word of me and Dana's. Dana, let me get close to the screen. What's our word, Dana?
Relationship.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's what I'm talking
Relationships.
about.
Relationships are a little bit closer up to the vest, guys. You're gonna get a little bit more out of spending time with people. So, all right, we'll get through that. You got another one, Ken?
Yeah, and I do want to say, related to networking, real quick. I had come up with this statement, and to be honest with you, I think it's pretty profound. So I was pretty sure I did not make it up.
Uh
But
huh.
every time I ask people, nobody can attribute it to anyone. So I'm taking
Really?
credit for it. And that is that isolation is the enemy of the unemployed.
Ooh,
Mm.
ooh, Dana,
That's
Dana,
pretty
you
good, isn't
ooh.
that?
I mean, that's really good. Can you please repeat that for everyone? I
Yeah,
think that
yeah,
that is
that
a
one's
worth
good. Yeah,
repeating.
Well,
and
Yes.
thank
and
you.
Mads, put it in the chat if you
I
would.
told you it was good. I know. I can't believe I came up with that one.
And you got us all excited more than the dad jokes. Oh my god.
It's it's that isolation is the enemy of the unemployed. Because A, because of the networking we just talked about, but B, because that voice in your head, that negative voice in your head, can get pretty loud. If you're sitting in your
Oh
office,
man.
even if you're pounding on the computer, that voice gets louder. You're not doing enough. You're not getting a job. You'll never get a job. You're not good enough. It's just self-defeating again. So get out, see people, do good things, help people out, and it'll come back to you.
It will. You know, when you get out, guys, you'll hear from these experts like Dana and like Mez and Andy, and you'll hear advice that's given that is completely opposite from those voices in your head that Ken's talking about right now. And it's
Mhm.
good for you to hear the truth. And I
Yeah.
mean the truth. Because those voices in our heads when we're afraid, guys, oh my goodness. Those
Mhm.
those are lies in your head that pretty much, yeah, most of them, if not all of them.
Yeah. Yep. That is the truth. Uh, the I guess you want another one.
All right, let's just keep right on going until we hear music, and we'll go to commercial, and then we'll talk to
Yeah,
Andy.
because it'll come up here in a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And that is that cover letters are dead. Don't use cover letters. Nobody reads
Oh,
cover letters anymore.
Mm,
Again, I don't buy that. I think if you have an opportunity to provide a cover letter with your resume, do it. It's
mhm,
another chance for you to market yourself, another
I
chance to
agree.
sell
And it
yourself.
makes the recruiter's job easier because when we get a cover letter and then we screen the candidate, we can use some of what's in that cover letter that we validated in our conversation in the write up that we're sending to the hiring leader to help sell the candidate.
that's right.
Mhm. Yeah. And
Now,
also, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, Ken. Go
No,
ahead.
please, after you, Buster.
Well, I like cover letters. Now, guys, I understand that you know a lot of our strategies going away from cover letters, and a lot of recruiters that you talk to is like, I ain't got time for no cover letter. Da, 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 da. But guys, I get involved. Thank goodness, I get involved in hiring a lot of executive level people, leaders of companies, COOs, this, that, and the other. And you know what? When you're coming in with a strategy, I'd like to help present you to my CEO or the owner of the company or whoever it is with an explanation of how you do things. And I will say this as well. If you guys see on the job posting, they're asking for a send a cover letter, guess what you need to do?
Send cover letter.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. Okay, Ken.
Yeah, yeah, and I would say too, there are people that recruiters, I'm sure, that don't read cover letters, or hiring managers that
Sure.
don't want to
Yeah.
see cover letters.
Oh,
That's fine. But if you don't set and you send a cover letter to them, so they won't read it. No harm, no foul. But if someone's looking for a cover letter and you did not send one, you're out of luck. So it could never hurt to send one. That's my opinion too.
that's true. It can't hurt. If we're trying to explain why we're a good fit for a position, and we're excited about this. Probably the majority of the time it's going to resonate with the person that's trying to hire, because we don't want to bring somebody aboard, number one, that cannot get along with my team, and number
Mm-hmm.
two, that doesn't have any experience in the arena, guys, in the
Mm-hmm.
arena that I'm looking to hire. Now I know that's kind of common sense, and you guys are probably rolling your eyes in the head, but job seekers, guys, Ken and I, Andy, all of us, we see people applying for things. We're like, really? What?
Yes, that is the truth. And with cover letters, but this is not a myth. This is just a bonus tip on this Good Friday afternoon. And it's an afternoon here in Pennsylvania. When you write a cover letter, don't start it off with "to whom it may concern." I'm writing about the blah 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 job that is open at your company.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is just a waste. You need to jump right in. There's a journalism expression: "Don't bury the lead." In other words, don't put your good stuff in the middle because they may never get to it. So start right off. Here's a great example I read once: was the person wrote in her cover letter, and if you can find out the name of the person who's hiring, that's great. But wrote,
Yeah.
ever since I was 12 years old and we spent our first vacation at a Marriott hotel, I've always admired the customer service that the company provides.
Uh-huh.
It's because of that I'm so excited to see the customer service role open, and then you go into it and you give a good example of why you're a good fit, and then hopefully you get that call for the interview. So start off with your best stuff. Don't save it for later. You may never see it.
You may never see it, boy. That's the truth.
Yeah. I know we're running out of time for this first half, so another quick one. I have a full LinkedIn profile, so now all I got to do is sit back and wait for the calls to come in. It's not going to happen. As uncomfortable as it is for a lot of us, you have to get involved and engaged on LinkedIn. It's a marketing tool. The more your name is out there, the more your name is associated with really smart, intelligent comments about topics related to your field, or just showing that you're up to date, that you're sharp, you know what to do. Over time, that's going to come to a point where someone's going to say, wow, this person, Foster, he's always posting great stuff. Let me check out his profile. And that's when your full profile will really do you good.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to attract people first.
That's right. You're trying to explain why, guys. We're trying to give the best reason why these people should talk to us. Because if we get a chance to talk, then we get a chance to show why we think that we're a good fit for the job. And you know what? When most of the time, when we're making an appropriate landing or appropriate fit for a job, we can explain that. And we can explain that in a way that Andy, other recruiters, DeMar, Dana, all of us will understand. And we will want to forward you on to the hiring manager because we got a reason to do so. We've got bullets in our gun. Now, that's a bad analogy. But when I go and I sit down with, let's say Ken's been a hiring manager before. I'm going to sit down and be a recruiter, and I'm going to say, Ken, this is why I am submitting DeMar Phillips' resume. I know him, the number one points that we shared on the internal recruiters, the number one points that we shared with that hiring manager when we said, hey, I see you got you've got a request here, and I'm going to sit down and talk to you and tell you, and I can read this. I know this is what you're trying to hire, but Ken, tell me what you want to hire. And then Andy and I are going to try to deliver that. So guys, when we sit down, we're going to touch on some of those points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, excellent. That's excellent information. So here's one, maybe the last one, a controversial myth. And that is, good. I'm not going to get hired because I'm 50 years old or 55 years old or 60.
That's not true. Yeah.
I do not believe, I know there is ageism out there. There are people, small-minded people, who won't hire someone who's older. But there are also people who won't hire people because of their gender, because of their race, because of their religion. Everybody's got some discrimination against them, sadly.
Oh, man.
But the reason why older candidates are not getting hired is because they're not showing that they're up to speed. Maybe they have an AOL email address.
Oh man.
Maybe they're using an objective instead of a summary on their resume. They're not demonstrating that they still have the energy and the drive and the passion for the job. So it's not, I'm not hiring you because you're 55 years old. I'm not hiring you because you don't know how to use a computer, because you're totally uncomfortable on a virtual call, because I have no examples of you taking initiative or being innovative. So again, there are people who will discriminate because of age, but don't accept that. Move on to the next one.
Move on to that. Ken, I just turned down probably the most awesome job that I was offered. What was that, July of last year? I had to turn that down. I entered into the conversation with the owner of the company trying to find out what he's trying to hire so I could send him somebody so I could network him in. And he wanted to hire me. And
I hear the music.
I hear the music. Guys, we'll be back. Keep those things going. We'll talk to Andi when we get back.
Attention all business owners and creative minds. Do you need a unique and personalized touch for your products? Look no further than Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and our turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Let's be honest, wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Good morning, Jobfather Nation. We are excited to be back. Joco Community Radio, as a reminder, is a member of EMG, a radio and podcast collective serving Johnson and Tarrant County, Texas. We're live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network and on our station app. Check out our lineup and more at tuneinjoco.com. We want to thank our valued partners in helping us amplify the voices of our communities. For example, Jobfather Radio. You heard the commercials. Be sure to connect with Todd Hurd and Associates, attorney at law. Use code JOCO2024 for 25% off your first order at thetiffy.com. And join up the Swipe Up Nation today and save you on your credit card processing at swipenationusa.com. It's locally owned and operated just like Joco Community Radio and the EMG Collective. You can reach out to Tiffany at jococommunityradio.com for advertising, as low as $50
Right.
a month. We are very excited to be a part of Joco Community Radio. Now, before we hop in with our wonderful partner and founder, we are going to quickly announce a couple job openings.
Oh yeah, you got a couple. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to remind everybody a couple things. The Jobfather and the work that Foster does, a lot of it is volunteer to help connect the job seeker community. But Foster also has Search for You. Please reach out to him for affordable ways to fill your job opportunities with top-notch golden seal of approval type candidates. You can also reach out to him to have your openings announced on this show. We reach communities nationwide and globally.
Globally too, yeah.
Yes, so keep that in mind. In addition to that, go to Search for You. Our wonderful Mez will put the link up in the
She's
website.
got it in there, yeah.
Yep, and donate. Thanks, Mez. You're amazing. And donate to the cause. Help Foster continue doing the work he does to support the job seeker community on a global level now. In addition to that, I want to give you guys a couple updates. So we have Beacon Oral Specialists hiring in client services, billing, and we have an IT service delivery manager, all here in Dallas, a director of tax here in Dallas, and the organization is continuing to grow. Also, keep in mind Galderma, as they often have a lot of IT and marketing roles here locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then different opportunities globally. And then Caris Life Sciences is typically hiring on their billing team and marketing team here in Dallas, and then on the customer support side in Phoenix. So if you want your positions announced, please reach out to Foster, and we're happy to get that on the show. Well, before we get over to one of our founders and beloved members of the Jobfather community, Andi Cook, do you have a goofy dad joke for the second half? I couldn't spit that out for some reason.
This one is not so goofy, but well, maybe not so goofy to me, but you guys will probably think it is. So, and Mez, thanks for putting Caris Life Sciences in the chat.
Thank you, Mez. We love you.
Caris is spelled Caris, guys.
Yep.
And okay, so check this out, guys. I met this guy that writes songs about sewing machines. He told me
Is he a singer?
He's a singer-songwriter. All right, I hear y'all laughing. Don't act like you're not laughing. Y'all
that
like
was
my
a
joke.
cute one. Not gonna lie.
That was good.
I got one real quick.
Okay, come on.
What do clouds call their underwear?
Oh, that's right. I know it, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Thunder pants. I'm funny. I love it.
This gets worse. This gets worse each week, and you guys can't wait to hear it. Isn't that right, Tiffany Paisley? Or we're doing okay? You are our official joke coach.
At my age, I wear thunder pants every day. No.
Oh God.
So
now we're getting it. Okay, I want to introduce. I love this because Andi Cook is the reason that we are here in the Jobfather. I can't say enough about Andi. I'm not just saying that because she's a friend of mine. She's a recruiter. But guys, I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's a greater value in job search than Andi Cook. Andi has helped people with resumes and all of this stuff when she's in between her contracts at work. And she is the original co-host of the Jobfather. But she's really, I should be her co-host, to be honest with you. I have learned so much from Andi, and I am excited to have Andi today because Andi is a job seeker. She's a recruiter looking for a job. So a lot of you companies, even a couple of you companies overseas, I've invited you guys to listen today so that you can meet Andi and see who it is Foster talking about.
Yeah, Andi won't be on the market long, listeners.
No,
so
she won't.
She's constantly pursued. So keep in mind, you got to act fast.
Andy, I would want to ask you this question. Of all the things that you have recruited for, what do you like the best? I know you worked for an IT recruiting firm at one time, but
Yeah.
you have so much value that it goes way beyond information technology.
Oh,
What are you looking for? Let's talk about you.
Yeah, so it's different. It was so hard to stay quiet during the first half, I have to tell you. And
We don't
so
want you to do that.
Ken, you did a great job, and you did not need my help. And so, great job on presenting and debunking some myths. I completely agree with you on them.
Yes.
In the last 6 months, I've had an amazing role with a great company and great people. They're going through a lot of reorg and some structural changes, and we're all kind of in the market right now. And I will tell you, like, moving into that full leadership role, going back into a director of people has been amazing. Getting to do one-on-one coaching and people development.
Uh-huh.
I did, do recruiting while I was there, but moving more into the people strategy. I was the director of our support, our customer and patient care. So being able to establish the structures that reduced, resolution time when people reach out, restructuring where we realigned priorities and workload, and just developing the strategy of the business. Loved it. And so I really want to carry that into my next role of
Uh-huh.
still leading people, still having a seat at the table, being able to help strategize the direction that we're going and how to fix critical issues. Definitely want to take that moving forward as well.
This last job threw you into some areas that you really, really enjoyed because I keep up with you and you're a
Yep.
grandmother now, and you do not look like a grandmother. Ain't nowhere in the world. But
Thanks.
So
but
young and beautiful.
yes,
Thanks, Dana.
yes, but with this newfound experiences that you've had, I like hearing that you are open to go back into that kind of thing because you are a
Yeah.
builder. Myself, I'm a builder too. Maybe that's why we get along. But you understand people, and if you keep Andy engaged with people, whether it be internal, whether it be external, you are doing the right thing with Andy's skills.
Amen to that.
Love it. I see Mez's questions. Great questions. What industries? Guys, because of the experiences that I've had, I have so many different industry experiences.
Yes.
I often recruited, I was an agency recruiter, so I recruited across industries. When I worked in IT, I worked multi-client desk. So I have everything. The last company that I worked with is a healthcare company. I ran operations for 3 separate healthcare companies. And it was really, really fun and exciting and challenging to, spread your time across 3 different entities. But I really do like the healthcare space. I would love to stay in that. I like customer experience, patient experience. But ultimately, what I have learned about myself is my passion is in making an impact.
Uh-huh.
I can really dive in and become the expert in a quick amount of time. But I will tell you, I loved the position so much, it actually triggered me to go back to school. And for years, I've had this hanging over my head that I didn't finish my degree. And so hopefully in about a year, I won't have to say that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I am going for more business and leadership, and I'm doing a dual program, so I'll have my master's in leadership as well. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Oh,
excited.
man.
But I really do love this space and being able to really develop teams really well.
That's a good space for you. That is the space for you. It really
Very
is.
good.
And I'm speaking from experience, guys. Andy, how long ago was it when we created this show? Was
COVID,
it
it was
Was it?
2020.
It was 2020, wasn't it? Oh
Yeah.
my God! Can you guys believe we're even at 2024?
It's so crazy.
It
So
is
I was
crazy.
recruiting, and, the recruiting industry in 2020 was struggle bus for everyone.
Oh,
And
Boy, it
so
was.
that's when I launched my resume writing business. That's when I got my life coach and career coach certifications.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where I really started the leadership development with people and meeting with individuals to help them reach their goals, which carried into the corporate world really well. and being able to address behaviors directly. The
Ooh,
way I give feedback is so different because I've been a coach for 4 years. I'm able to just have these really challenging conversations with positive results that before I think would have been harder for me to have.
Uh-huh. There's one thing about Andy job seekers that I saw that I don't see from everyone. Andy is a coach and she will tell you trends. She will tell you things that are unique for your skill set, for your focus with where you're wanting to go, and she will show metrics on that. Andy is a data girl. And
Yes.
it's pretty cool because okay,
yeah,
I'm saying all this, but here let me show you why I'm saying this. And I resemble a little bit of that when I'm interviewing people, because when you're sitting there, okay, we're in this interview because I looked at your resume and I decided, hey, I think I want to talk to you. Now, prove it to me.
Right.
I mean,
I think
yeah,
it's
I
horrible
think
that it's that way, but
you're
yeah,
exactly right. And
yeah.
part of what helps me learn, there's a strategy when I go into a company, right? First 30 days, you're really focused on relationships. You're focused
Ah,
on getting to know the people. What do they do? You don't storm the gates to make changes. You develop your alliances and partnerships. And then in that next 30 days, learn the language, learn their vocabulary, their acronyms, their systems, figure out how to really work within the system. And then you start to learn the nuances of the industry and more details in those next 30 days. So by 90 days in, you should have your feet under you well, where you can start to see the holes and the gaps where you can strategize improvements. But you will have so much more equity with your team and buy-in because
yeah,
you built those alliances, you speak their language, and now you can start to influence change.
exactly.
that's right. We have to take the guys. We have to take the time. Everybody's like, I ain't got time for that. No, you do. You better make time
You
for it.
don't have time not to.
Yeah, you don't have exactly, Andy. Say that again, Andy.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
You
you don't
don't
have time not
have
to.
time not to. Guys, there's one thing that's missing. I love the technology. I love where we're going in Chat GPT and all of this stuff. I love where we're going. But there is a reason that things work the way that Andy is suggesting. And you know what? Ken and I we resemble this. Is that we didn't have when Ken and I were in, and Ken don't throw anything at me when I say this, but when Ken and I were building our career, we didn't have all this technology. We had us. We had relationship building abilities. We had to go out, and sometimes we had to do some door to door stuff. And you know what? I love technology. Do not get me wrong. Especially I love Chat GPT. But guys, do not let Chat GPT run off with you. What are you talking about, Foster? Hey, guys, make sure that what we're using as a tool is being accurate, and it's expressing what we want to express. And so, with Andy being our job seeker today, guys, I am really, really excited. You guys need to call Andy, talk to her about opportunities you have. Andy is open to Andy, you're open to contract, right? I don't want to run out there
Yep,
and say
I'm
that word.
open.
Yeah, she is a good person for a contract, guys, to talk about these strategies and why
yeah.
we do things. And and she has this added expertise that she just had at her last company that she definitely is excited about, and she'd like to talk to you guys about that.
Thank you so much, guys. I know we're going to transition over to Damar. Can't wait to hear more about you, Damar. But I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to be here and talk through my job search and give an update.
Well,
Awesome.
you got it. We are you are the job seeker today. Demar was a job seeker. Demar? What was it? Last week, 2 weeks ago.
It was last week.
It was
Yes.
last week, guys. And Damar, yes, is a job seeker as well. And Damar, guys, is a CHRO or VP of HR. He's going to be your HR leader, especially, guys, if your company deals with distribution or manufacturing or something like that, where his experience is going to be. But we're focusing on Andy today. And Damar, I'm really, really glad that you are able to join us. I got tickled pink when I saw you on here with us today, because Andy, when you and I were doing Jobfather, the first time that Damar was on the show, wasn't it with you and I? Was it Damar? Was it you and I, or was it me and Dana?
I think it was Andy. It was a
It
while back though. I
was
was
a
one of the
while
first
back.
guests.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Long,
And
long
so
ago.
it
and
was.
DeMar is one of the best HR leaders that you're going to find, guys. And I'm excited that you get a chance to be on and you get a chance to see Ken. And I knew that you and Andy knew each other. I just
Yeah,
thought I remember that. Yeah.
that's awesome.
So
Well, just the amazing tips that Ken has provided, and then Andy, your career and your insight. It sounds very similar to my approach of listen, look, learn. Right, for the first 90
Right.
days that you're
uh-huh.
within an
Absolutely.
organization, and so everything is it's always good to have someone that can co-sign your thoughts and your processes because it works, and that's why you
Right.
communicate that.
I love it. I
I,
think
go ahead,
something in the
Andy.
role that I was just in was we used multiple systems that didn't talk to each other. In IT, we call it swivel seat, where you're entering stuff in multiple systems,
Uh-huh.
but going in and creating data points. Because if you want to learn your business, learn the data, learn your numbers. Like if we're taking support cases, how many are we taking? How many does what's our average processing time? Do I have enough people to meet the operational level agreements that we've put in place? Am I stressing my team out? Are we running them at 110% and nobody can sustain that? And so you look at it from this varied background. And this is where I'm thankful for all of my different opportunities. What I learned at Life Church as a pastor on how to care for people really well and the leadership training, compared to what I learned as a recruiter with the numbers and the metrics,
Yeah. Oh,
and now into this direct leadership role has been so cohesive, because you go in, you create data where there's not data. If I'm working with a team, I want to know, what do they cost me by the minute, so I can make decisions about, do I want to spend the resources on this? How much does it cost me to implement this?
yeah.
And so using those data helps you with your service levels. It helps you to drive decisions about hiring, when to hire, when to pull back, how to allocate. And
Uh-huh.
so for me, knowing the numbers, whether it's helping people with job search, and knowing that if you apply online, you have a 1 in 200 to 300 chance for hire. But if you go through a recruiter, that goes to 1 in 6. And if you have an internal person, it's 1 in 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you know the numbers, it helps for me as a job seeker. How do I allocate my time? Well,
Right.
yes, I'm going to apply for jobs I'm qualified for, but I know I'm going to get my resume in the hands of every person who could vouch for me, because I don't know who they know.
That's right.
Boy,
And
now is that
so
accurate.
it's
Woo.
not really spray and pray. It's connect. Like, I don't say apply for every job, but talk to every person. I have 15,000 LinkedIn connections. You better believe 14,000 of them probably are going to get my resume. And just say, hey, if you hear of anything, I'm in the market, because I never know which one of those people is going to know of an opportunity. It's just an open conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And we need to be making time for those conversations, guys. I'll
Right.
be honest with you. We have to make time. This technology, or whatever you want to say it is, has got us running 100%, but we have to know
Oh, yeah.
when to stop and pay attention.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Foster, earlier you talked about relationships. That's really what it is all about. Networking isn't just, hey, let me exchange business cards with you, but it truly
Right.
is establishing a rapport, understanding what their needs are, and truly being a servant leader first. For me, it's about, how can I help you? I appreciate if you want to help me, but how can I help you? Right. And then once you establish that foundation of trust, then other people will want to help you as well. But it has to start with, what can you do for others so that they can help?
It
Agreed.
does. And DeMar, your brand is exactly that. I can say
Yeah.
that. If you guys get a chance to talk to DeMar, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I do have a question for Ken, though. Hey, Ken, are you familiar with Andrew Gelfand?
The name sounds familiar, but help me out.
He's a big networker up in the Pennsylvania area. I don't know if he's in Philadelphia per se, but a lot of what he does, he networks Philadelphia, because Philadelphia's a big old city and there's a lot going on up there.
Yes, it sure is.
But I am going to introduce you, if you don't mind. I would love to introduce you to him on LinkedIn.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you.
You absolutely, and that's I am the job father. That's why Andy made me the job father.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, I know.
Andy, you're so funny. You're like, don't blame me.
Well, I just can't take credit for it. I think it's brilliant.
Oh
but,
yeah, it is.
But
Man,
I didn't do that one.
I've
Yeah.
been called a whole lot of stuff, but brilliant's not one of them most of the time. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I've done pretty good. God has been good to me in my career. I can tell you that. I've been obedient to what he told me to do, and I'm taking the credit for what he did. Now, that's the truth, y'all. Okay, let's shut up about that. Let's go back to Andy, because I want you guys to hire Andy. I want you to hire Damar too, but I want you to hire Andy.
Well, Damar, talk a little bit about what you're looking for and where you bring the value.
Absolutely. So vice president, people, HR, CHRO roles in consideration now for a few of those. So hopefully soon have some updates. But truly what I love doing is aligning people's strategies with operational goals to be able to deliver value back to the organization.
Right.
But I believe it's people first, people always.
Yes.
Sometimes we get the paradigm shifted that the customer is number one. Well, if you take care of your employees, they in turn will take care of the customer, so you don't have to worry about the bottom line. And so
very true.
That's really what I do is to help to right size the organization with the right talent to ensure that we can be successful. And then by doing that, your talent, your products, your services, whatever it is that you're selling or providing, will be successful if you have the right people in the right place.
That's
that is true. I've known Damar a number of times, and actually, back when Andy and I had a show, I was on another podcast called the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And Damar came on our show, and when I said, well, okay. Was it with Andy when he was on there? Because I know I got him all mixed up with Trevor and Mark, but then I had him because of that interaction. And
that's right.
Damar and I just there's some people that you meet, guys. There's a connection. Ken is one of those people. There's just a connection that it's kind of hard to explain, but it's there anyway. I suggest that you spend time with those people that you have that connection with. And Damar and I were those folks. Hence, that's why Damar is here with us, was here with us. He was a job seeker last week. And I just, I love it. I love it. And then I want to introduce y'all to everybody, and you start rolling your eyes in your head. Oh my God, Foster, shut up, man.
Introduce away, Foster. Introduce away.
And Andy, I cannot tell you how many folks I have referred to Andy or referred to Andy to. So we just appreciate you, Andy. We all have that. We all have that spirit in us, and we move forward with that. And we find that there is a big need out there for somebody that cares. You guys know what I'm saying? We got everybody trying to get in our back pocket and on this planet Earth. Are we still on planet Earth? Okay, but everybody's got an angle. Everybody's trying to sell something. Everybody, but when you meet somebody that truly cares about you, believe me, that person's it's gonna stay on your radar. It really.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, it's so critical.
I met Dana years ago, and Dana and I connected. And hey, look now. Now there is no job father without Dana Gingerich. It's just not.
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
Mez,
that.
we can't forget you, Mez.
No
Mez,
way.
Oh my God, Mez was in the oil and gas industry for 10 years.
Yeah.
And she is a biochemical engineer, and I'm like, okay, this lady's in my HR group. What am I gonna do with this biochemical engineer that's in my HR group?
So brilliant,
guys, because she took the time to get out and network.
Yeah,
she found something that's perfect for her.
So, she did.
That's all I have to say about that. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on that.
Okay.
My rule with people who assist job seekers, it's a very simple rule. Don't be slimy. So when I turned on my open to work, I seriously got about 40 messages for people who are like, we want to write your resume. I'm like, actually, if you actually looked at my profile, I got that.
Yeah.
But it's just, don't be slimy. Don't prey on people. And there's a big difference in being smart with marketing and being predatory.
Oh yeah. Very much so.
And for job seekers, just be patient with people because they are trying to do their job. But at the same time, y'all, don't be slimy.
Yeah.
No,
Y'all
no,
don't be
no,
slimy.
no salamanders, Dana.
I just am thinking the Jobfather hashtag don't be slimy, like
Don't be
t-shirts.
slimy. Deborah Kurtz, I see you are not a slimy person. So Deborah is another person I can't wait to get on this show if I get a chance to get her before she gets a job. So I hear music. Just shut up, Foster time. Guys, thank you
Ah,
very much. Ken, thank you. Andy, thank you. And we'll see
Thank
you
thank
guys
you,
you.
next Friday.
everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.